Hello, welcome to Mart's garage. I'm sitting here on the running board of the 33 looking at the Sill on the 100E. I've just finished that part of the job there to where I'm happy with the fit. I am going to weld it, not screw it, which you know is something we've had a bit of a chat about. But what I'm not happy about is that area there. Now, I always take a long time to do a job when basically I don't know how to do the job. What I would like to do is get the sill to follow this profile a little bit, in other words to curve out and then to come straight and in and have a little bit of the start of this shape here and tapering away to sort of nothing there. Okay, let's look at the bigger job. I've got to cap the end of this, but the glaring elephant in the room is this little bit here. So what I would probably do best to do first would be to cut this off and make a new piece to go inside, which will come out here, and then all of this repair could be kind of, you know, treated as one repair. I don't know, I'm just thinking it over. Haven't got an answer. Just thought I'd put some marks on there to give me an idea about the sort of shape that I want to get. Okay, back in a bit. Hello, right. This is kind of in place. You have to make sure it's hooked over that little lip that's on the edge of that piece there. Now, amazingly, I managed to put that bend in there with the stretcher, the shrinker stretcher jaws, and I've stretched this a little bit here, which has kind of put a bit of a flare on there. So if I can bend this bit straight now and flat and put a sort of little edge there, I might be able to get it something like what I want. So I'm going to shrink that flange just there quite heavily, and or maybe even cut it and shrink here now. Shrink here. I've stretched it here, but I've stretched it a little bit further back. So if I can shrink this, I might be able to get it a bit like what I want. Sorry for holding the camera at a funny angle. Yeah, I think that might be not too bad. And then I'll deal with the flange afterwards. Do you know something? That's not too far off, is it? I've got this curve here to a certain extent, and I've got that. I'll pull that flat again by shrinking it, and I need to shrink this edge a bit and then fold it in. It's actually come out not too bad. Not as good as a proper pressed piece, but do you know what I mean? I'm a beginner. I don't know what I'm doing. I just used the shrinker and stretcher to kind of get what I wanted. Stretched this initially to go and bring it out here, and then shrunk it and tried to put an edge there. But I need to just put this back in now. Okay, righto, back in a bit. You know, I ain't being funny, but I'm quite pleased with that. That looks hell of a lot better, doesn't it? And I'm no sheet metal worker, but that's not bad really. think I need to push the whole sill up a bit to close this gap, you know, maybe get the angles a bit different on the ends. But that's not bad at all. I'm pleased with that. I can weld that corner, can't I? And just get this edge a little bit better. But for a sort of quick bash, 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 stretch, 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 shrink, 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 I think the shrinker and stretcher is the absolute key to anything like this. I mean, maybe no, it's definitely got a shape there. It's definitely got a shape there. Yeah, it's looking good. I'm pleased with that. Better than it just looking, you know, half-arsed. Okay, righto. I'll leave it at that now because it's quite late in the evening, and I normally go and play snooker, so I'm going to go and have a game of snooker with Jeff and Johnny Rust and another mate. So righto, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then. Bye. Hello. It's another day. It's a nice sunny day today. Quite warm. I'm just looking at this, and it fits quite well, and I think I've got a decent shape there. The only problem is it kind of coming away here, so I think I need to kind of start rolling this flange a bit higher, because this fits at an angle that's come down. I don't know if I can do it, to be honest. Okay, I'll bring it back when there's more to show. I'll try and improve it. I hope I can. I hope I don't bugger it up. Okay, back in a bit. Hello. I give it a little bit of a bump and a bang, and it's slightly better, but there's much too big a radius on this curve now. But to be honest, I'm struggling to hold it and then hold like a, you know, a dolly, or just get in to hammer it. It's very difficult, but I've got it clamped in. It's in place, and what I need to do is concentrate on this area here. This is the big problem, this hole here. I need to devise a patch panel that will come round the inside of here and form, because this actually here isn't attached to anything. I don't know where it's supposed to be exactly, and I don't quite know how it's supposed to go in this area here. Yeah, feeling this here, it feels like there is a gap between the inner and the outer. So it's only welded along the inner edge in effect. Yeah, because this is quite a broad flange, isn't it? And the inner, I'm going to swing the camera around underneath. The inner flange isn't that wide. Okay. Okay, I'm getting a few ideas now. So I really just need a piece of channel to go around there. And then join onto it. Okay. The mower's just started, so I'll leave it for now then, and I'll bring it back when I've got something to show. Okay, back in a bit. Here's my little piece of angle. So I'm going to stretch this face to make it conform to that curve there. That's the idea anyway. I thought I'd just show you that. And I'm going to use the stretcher dies in the shrinker stretcher. There's lots of videos on YouTube showing this sort of thing, so I shouldn't really need to go into too much detail. Let me just make a start and then I'll just keep offering it in and seeing how it fits. I had a couple of goes and I've gone too much. I've gone too much. So I'll put the shrinker dies in and bring it back a bit. Right, so I've got this piece and it kind of fits pretty well like that. You can see I've stretched it all along that flange and I've shrunk it on that inside flange. I don't know whether to use this as my outside piece actually. Don't look too bad, does it? I'm really impressed with the shrinker stretcher. I think I should have shrunk this part first, because as I'm trying to shrink it, it's kind of flattening it out and I'm having to kind of hammer and dolly it back out again. I'll do another one the same shape with a slightly bigger flange this side for the outside piece, and then I'll use this for the inside piece. So if I can make a piece that fits this, when they go together they'll be okay, won't they? But I'll try what I said, I'll try doing the shrinking first. Okay, leave it with me. This is my outer piece. What I've done, I've went along with a pair of pliers and I've bent that flange down there on the edge there. So what I'm thinking is that I'll offer this in and make a cut around here and just put the weld just that side of the lip. What I think I'll do is, look, I'm making this up as I go along. I will cut out the outer piece and tack this in and then see if I can build the inner piece. If I can't build the inner piece, I'll cut this off again and build the inner piece and then put it back on again after. But I think I need to get this in place because this is the important piece, because this is the piece that has to look okay. I'm just looking at that kind of profile of that arch. I suppose it's about as good as I'm going to get. Yeah, I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Bear in mind this side is a bit of a precursor to the other side, which is a lot worse. So I'm going to start cutting this now and hopefully I can make it fit okay. Maybe I'll get a couple of clamps around and then scribe it. Okay, back in a bit. Hi, it's quite a bit later and I've been working on finessing this piece and I've put a flange down there. I can't remember if I've mentioned that. And I need to just trim a little bit here because it's not quite fitting right there. But I think and I hope that when that is in place like that, it will look okay. I've ground this all back and there's a little bit of weakness here, but I'm hoping I can, well, I'm thinking I can deal with that when I come to it. So I just want to trim something here and I will look at getting this tacked in. To be honest, I want to just weld it in. Yeah, I'm just going to weld it in. It might make it a little bit more difficult to do the other piece, but to me, this is the piece that I want to get right. I'm looking at that top bit there, you know, to see if I can make it fit a bit better. Okay, leave it with me and I'll bring you back when I've got a bit further along. I think I can still go a bit sharper on that edge there. I think I might push that edge down a bit further. I'll show you how I'm doing it actually. I'll show you that. I've got a chisel in the vise and I've just been putting this on here and hammering it with a hammer. and I just think I want to get that bit there a little bit better. Okay, I thought I'd just show you that. You got to just improvise, haven't you, when it comes to dollying. I spent quite a long time just making this one simple little bit of metal, but you know, that's what you got to do, ain't you, if you want to learn how to do it. I can see now that this flange is narrower here and wider there, so I do need to go a bit more there. That would make sense. Okay, I'll need 2 hands, so I'll bring it back when there's more to show. Hello, I'm part way through welding it. I wouldn't like to say I'm overjoyed with the shape, but as usual, I think it's not bad. It doesn't look bad. This sort of 1/2 inch flange does kind of continue down there. Yeah, it's not bad. The original one was nicer, but it had a problem, and I've still got a hint of that problem there. I've welded this, I've ground it a little bit, I'm letting it cool down because I don't want things to get too hot. I've just got a little bit of welding wire, so I'm going to use that to help me in this area here. What I don't want to do is bow this panel, but I'm welding on a curved part here that's got plenty of strength, so I thought that was probably the safest place to do it. Okay, righto. I'll bring you back when there's more to show. I welded it in. You know, luckily it went okay. I didn't chase my tail for too long with that welding wire. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's better than some that I've seen. Okay, I hope that doesn't make it difficult for me to do the inner piece. But, you know, you have to sort of cross your bridges one at a time, don't you? I mean, I want to sort of try and use minimal filler. Wear your patches with pride sort of thing. I might leave it at that for this little session. That's not a bad job, not a bad job. So, I'm a beginner. For me, that's a complex patch piece, that is. Yeah, I think I'm a little bit out on my radiuses, but maybe I can massage that in just a little bit. Trouble is, it'll come out as well. You know, if I massage it that way, it'll come this way as well. So maybe I won't bother. But, oh, do you know what I could do? I could just put a little slit there, couldn't I? Hammer that up a little bit. I was trying to think what would Fitzy do. Put a little slit there, hammer that up, and re-weld. Okay, I will catch you on the next one then. Cheers then. Bye. Hello. I went into the house and I've come out again. And just before I went in, I kind of had an idea that I'm not happy with that job there. Man. To put it in perspective though, I don't know why I'm worrying. Look at this side. I get the impression it's sticking out just a little bit too much just there. Yeah, I think it wants to go in just a tiny bit there. I might just put a little slit there and a little slit there and just tap that very gently. Thing is, I mean, this is original metal here. Yeah, let me put a little slit there and a little slit there, and I'll tap that in. I don't know if that's better. Yeah, I think it is actually. Yeah, I think it's closed up in that area there, and I've just hammered that bit where it's welded in a little bit as well. Yeah, I think that's not too bad. I think that's not too bad. I'll weld that up now then. Okay, back in a bit. Hello. It's not looking too bad. I've just marked the inside there with a pen. I'm going to cut down there. I've got a little hole there that I need to fill in. I'm relatively happy with that. it's going to have to do, I'm afraid. Okay. Yes, I thought I'd just take a little, just get a little bit on film halfway through the job. Yeah, it's a bit low there actually. Oh, I knocked that in, didn't I? Okay, whatever. Let's get this piece here trimmed, and it might start, and then I've welded there. It's all a bit kind of flaky here, so it's very difficult to get a decent weld. But I didn't weld it because I couldn't find my bit of filler wire, but I've just looked down and there it is, so I'm going to use that just to get a little bit of weld in there. The weld doesn't look too bad, and I can't see any bright or blue spots, you know what I mean, where I've overheated the metal, so yeah, not too bad. You can see the stretcher marks on there, shrinker marks, wherever they are, stretch marks. Okay, righto. Let's weld that little bit up, cut that off, weld that up, and call the outer piece good. Righto, back in a bit. What do you think? Think it looks alright? I think it looks okay. It looks a little bit better than when I did it before, and the shape isn't too bad. If you were really fussy, you could apply a little bit of filler and it'll come out alright, I think. I think I'll probably just leave it like that and just yeah, put a couple of coats of paint on it. I'm no further ahead with my inner panel, but I've got my outer piece in place, and that actually has taken all day. Although I will have to do it on the other side, so yeah, I might have to more or less clone this in a mirror image for the other side, so this is good practice. I'll tell you what it is though, I'll tell you what it is, it's rock solid, it's very, very strong. That has added a lot of strength to that panel there. I might tinker around for another little bit longer, but as far as that piece goes, I'm going to call that done, I think. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then. Bye. Hang on, that don't look right, does it? Hello. There's my patch piece that I put in. And that first piece that you saw me do, I've put that on the inside of it there. It's not fitting brilliantly, but it is in there. The other thing I did, which I kind of thought about when I put the axle in, was the axle's in the way. You can't get your head in with the mask on. So what I've done, because everything was only freshly fitted, it only took literally 5 minutes to undo the U-bolts, less than that, and just push the axle up there. And I've just got it resting on a bit of wood there. It's still attached to the brake pipe and still attached to the handbrake. So what I've done, I've took that piece there and I've welded onto it a piece that kind of comes in and then flares out to meet the inner skin, which I'm hoping I can get enough of a weld onto to sort of, you know, make it okay. There's a little bit of a gap there. I'm not sure I can do much about that. You know the term, trying to make a silk purse from a sow's ear. Well, yeah, here we are. So my question to myself is, where do I want to trim this off? And just weld down to about there and then trim this off? Or what do I do here? I don't know. But I think if I can get from there down to there with a reasonable repair, I'll be quite happy. And I could, if I can get this to seat in a bit further, yeah, if that can go in a bit further, it might be better. Okay, leave it with me and I will bring you back when there's more to show. So there's the axle out of the way. It allows me to get my head in. And what I've done, I've drilled some holes along there for the for some plug welds. I've cut that piece back. Oh, I've gone a bit mad with the brush there. And I put some red paint on the inside of everything, hopefully up here. And I've put some red paint on the infill piece as well, so that will go inside. So I'm going to bodge that in, clamp it in, go through with my milling cutter and clean the metal on the inside, and then go in with some plug welds, I think. And then I've got to try and weld that face. Oops. Then I've got to try and weld that face to that inner panel there. So I'll have to go in first and clean that paint off that area up there where I went a bit mad with the brush. I was just jabbing it in there, I wasn't looking. Don't look too bad. Little bit wide at that point there, I think. Righto, I'll come back when there's more to show. Back in a bit. I just put 5 plug welds up there, and they appear to have taken quite well. That edge can be trimmed off. Righto, I'll now my problem is going to be getting up there to weld that piece up there, up inside there, because I might not be able to get my head in. I'll give it a go anyway. Okay, I'll bring it back, hopefully, when there's a lovely nice bead of weld running up all the way up there. Okay, back in a bit. Okay, 5 plug welds, and what, not exactly a lovely bead, but you know, a series of welds that has got that piece attached in, and then of course that completes the arch there, because that's nice on the inside. Cool. I've got to work out how to sort of come back from here and around here. That piece of metal there is a bit rusty. I might cut that off, slip another piece just behind there, weld it to it, and then weld to this piece, which is the inner sill, and then come across here and again around the back of there. Whew. This will go on last, and you know, be welded on. I can go down there with a disc and cut that. A couple of little holes there, but I can put a bit of, I can clean this and put a bit of fiberglass in there. But that's pretty good, because there was a hole there, there was a piece missing there as well. Okay, right, looking good. Okay, I've got a problem with my grinder, it keeps cutting out. There's a problem with the wire somewhere, so I need to fix that. And when I've done that, I'll do a bit more. Okay, time for a cup of tea. Cheers then, back in a bit. So that grinder there, I bought that grinder about 7 or 8 years ago, and actually I bought 4, and I only ever used 3. So that one, brand new in a box, just got it out. I don't know what's the matter with the one that stopped working. I think there's a break in the wire, but I thought, well, I don't really want to spend all day fixing my grinder, so I busted out that new one there. It's really nice and smooth. Okay, I cut off that flange there. I ground the plug welds, and I've ground the weld up there, and to be honest, I think it looks okay. The only thing that was bugging me was this area here, where this flange had sort of come a bit thick. So I've just took my grinder and cut a groove there, and I've hammered this a little bit. I might hammer it just a tiny bit more, and I think that'll look okay when I've re-welded it. It's very, very firm with all that inner structure now, and this piece. It's very, very solid, absolutely rock solid. Okay, I'll look at welding that then, and I'll bring you back when there's more to show. I welded it and I've ground it. So other than not looking very smooth, it's not too bad. I'm just going to stick a little bit more paint on it, and I'll put a bit of paint up on the inside as well, up on the top there. Righto, okay. I'll bring you back. Well, maybe I'll just do it, hang on. I've got a little, where I caught it with the disc there, look, I need to just gob that in with a welder. Still, don't look too bad. Yeah, I think that looks better actually. I think that does look better. Yeah, it's a little bit narrower now all the way around. Okay, there's a couple of little lumps and bumps, but a couple of little divots. So that's down to the realms of a bit of bodywork now, just to, you know, a bit of filler work just to get that nice and smooth. I think that's pretty good, to be honest. You know, and I think my ability to make something like that is improving. Quite a few complex shapes there inside there. Okay, I'm going to have to daub some fiberglass in that hole at the top. Can't really do much about that. It's very restricted in there with you getting your head in. Ooh, definitely having the axle moved out of the way helped a lot. Like I said, it only took less than 5 minutes with the, you know, with the impact gun. Fresh U-bolts, fresh nuts. It would have been a different story with the old U-bolts and nuts. I think that's alright. I keep saying it, but you know, if it's true, it ain't bragging. I'm very pleased with that. I think that's okay. Definitely. And I did do a couple of remedial actions, didn't I? I slimmed it down a bit from sticking out, and then narrowed it that way. Okay, righto. Look at this state of this brush. Right, I will decide what I'm going to do next, and when I do a little bit more, I'll bring you back and show you. I did all that work in there, and then I realised that you can actually see the inside from in here. So I have reached in with a brush and sort of daubed it with paint, just get plenty of paint in there to protect it a little bit. The inner piece, it actually isn't too bad, and it was good solid metal to weld to, so yeah, that's good. I did cut it off at that point there. Okay, righto. I will, as I said, I will decide what I'm going to do next, and I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Thanks a lot for joining me in the garage then. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then, bye.